everyone, and welcome back to the manufacturer pre-season in 2019. This is round number 10 and we're at Maggiore in the Group 3 cars, so of course that means we're in the Audi R8. Running a bit slow in these final two turns. I kind of like to start a quali lap with a bit more warmth in the tyres. I was in the live stream going, come on Kelsey, get going, because there's cars behind me, there's only 20 seconds left on the clock, everyone's going to start punching up very, very quickly. But even so, we begin start lap. Speaking of the live stream, by the way, that is in the description. If you want to check out the session as it happened, my thoughts as it happened, do check out the description. It is timestamped for you as well. You can just click and go. But here we are with the quali lap. Coming into this first turn, just trying to protect our tyres a little bit because, of course, this was the season with huge tyre wear, extreme tyre wear. So we had to be very careful. And by the 3/4 of the lap, our tyres are pretty much ruined, so you know it is quite severe. Going through here though, it's not been too bad of the start of a lap really here, just trying to again be as safe as we can. Remember as well, with this round we had new physics as well, so we had a little bit more, well actually not even a little bit, a lot more understeer, and then a little bit more oversteer under braking initially. It was quite weird, to be honest. I had to try and get used to it very quickly. So we have more understeer and more oversteer in the Audi, so it's a bit sketchy. And of course, with more oversteer and extreme tyre wear, it's not very good. But even so, let's continue through the lap. We've come through the S's very nicely there, flat out. Continue on to the back straight here. At this point, I was hoping to catch Kelsey a little bit, get a bit of slipstream, you know, push us along a little bit as we head towards the sector. 59.8, quite a good sector time that. We are looking for a 0.6 was our perfect time, but 0.8 we're not too far off as we now come into this right hander. We had to be so careful at this hairpin, really controlling the gear changes there, slow down shifts, making sure the car does not snap oversteer because it was significant there, really was, and you'll see that later on in the race. Through here we go. We're getting closer and closer to Kelsey. We have a bit of dirty air now. We are purple though, so let's see what we can do towards the end of this lap as we come into this right-hander. Again, just suffering a little bit with dirty air now. Kelsey runs a little bit wide here, slides and then gets out of it. So, you know, fair play Kelsey letting us go there. But it did cost us a little bit of time as well at the same time. But, you know, Kelsey's trying to finish his lap. I'm trying to finish mine. Through this last corner, we completely missed the apex there. Really frustrating. We head towards the line at this point. You can see the tyre wear already. Look at that. Nearly a quarter down already, and a 53.2. About average in terms of my lap times. We were looking for a 52.9 if I'm honest. We had a couple of those in practice. But even so, P2 in qualifying. That's not too bad. Behind the ultimate tyre wear or tyre saving king of the TFT1 of Rick there. There's myself in P2, Slent in P3. Again, the Volkswagen Beetle, very good on its tyres with SVDR in P4. That was a good battle. That was a battle for Volkswagen. Stefani in P5. Adam in P6 in the Aston Martin. It was going to be, or originally was going to be the round, Audi versus Aston for 12th place, but I already knew that Audi were really out of it after the physics change. I must admit, putting a physics change right before the last round when my teammates, because I couldn't go to New York anyway, my teammates had the possibility of New York, was a bit silly if I'm honest. A bit, not even a bit silly, very silly. Do it after the final round, then at least the whole season's been the same physics. The final result is then what it is, you know, it is what it is. Even so, there's VP Raceface in P19, and obviously we put our brake balance -5 because that's the only way to try and save those rear tyres. And we start the race here now. So P2, and this was all about surviving at this point. I knew I couldn't beat that Toyota in front. I knew I couldn't beat some of the cars behind, to be honest. I had to survive and really look after these tyres. So you're going to see, you know, much softer braking. You're going to see me in higher gears as I leave corner. So here you can see I'm in second gear. This is a first gear corner. I'm staying in second. You see the car is really low down in the revs. It's to save tyres. This is all to save tyres. Staying in second there, the rear doesn't come out when I go to first. It doesn't, you know, force the car around with rotation. Rotation or sliding the rear causes tyre wear. So all of this is all about, okay, how do I save tyres? How do I save tyres? How do I save tyres? And this is why I'm glad in the new season the tyre wear has been reduced, because it's not necessarily as much about saving tyres, because this isn't racing to me. And, you know, it has been reduced. So if Gran Turismo have watched that video, that Dear Gran Turismo video, I believe they did, and then reacted to it, I'm thankful, because it wasn't just me complaining about the tyre wear. Everybody was complaining about the tyre wear. You look on Twitter, you look on the YouTube comments. I could show you some of the direct messages I've had. Or everybody was like, tyre wear, tyre wear, tyre wear. I advance a little bit later on now in the race. Let's start talking about this race. So you can see Rick's just gone already. You know, he can just fly away at this point. He can be quite aggressive. we've got Slent and SVDR behind us in those Beetles. Those Beetles very good on tyre wear, and Slent's going to go to the outside, so the inside into the outside there. So I let off here because I don't want to damage my tyres too much. I'll just follow Slent through. Now, if I get a good run through here, potentially I can overtake him on the straight, but again, I'm just trying to save those tyres. So through there we go. We've got the slipstream here on Slent, the Audi R8, very quick in a straight line, until you get near the top end and then it struggles, but even so we are in that slipstream. Slent goes defensive on the right side, moves to the left. At this point, I'm not going to go for the move. I have to brake really, really early for this corner. You're going to see that here. So I come into here, and I'm all about just stabilising the car, stabilising that rear end. I don't want it to come out at all, because then it's race over. That's all I'm doing for 9 laps on that corner. I am trying to make sure the car does not slide. So through there we go. We're still behind Slent here as we continue on. We're going to advance a bit further on now. This is the highlights, of course. If you want the official live stream, as I say, it's down below in the description. So lap number 3 now. Obviously we've got 9 laps. Lap 4 is when we're going to pit. You can see how close SVDR gets there under braking. Look how twitchy the rear is. That is how twitchy it was. SVDR just clipped our rear there. Actually cost him a position versus Stefanzi. Stefanzi's then looking around the outside. That's going to cost him a lot of speed here. And SVDR then going for the cutback then down the inside of Stefanzi. Does SVDR get it done? Yes, he does. Into the right-hander he goes. And they're still side by side, I think, actually. There we go. SVDR does get that placed. And it gives us a bit of breathing space, which is kind of what we wanted, because the next lap is full Drifto. As we advance a little bit further on now. Lap number 4. You're going to see now how... I mean, look, lap number 4, look at the tyres. They're below 50%. So you're about to see how crazy this car is. The new physics change and the tyre being so extreme, it was nuts. That's why I knew Audi was straight out of it. Going into here again, you can see how we're just trying to manage that rear, stop it sliding. You can see how much other cars gaining us. SVDR's pulled away a bit from Stefanzi, so we head up to this complex of corners. Through the left we go. SVDR can't really get a move done there. Into the right-hander, and we're going to head towards the braking marker. A bit of understeer there for SVDR. Into the braking. Watch how twitchy this car is going to get now. Look at the rear. It's coming out. I'm not doing anything here. I am literally just balancing the throttle. Look, look, look. I can't turn. It's oversteer. It's over there. Look at me. I'm fighting with the wheel. This is how bad it was. This is 4 laps. And this is why that video was made. Into the left-hander we go. And look at this. Slide, slide. I'm trying to catch it. And I've looked after my tyres the best I've done compared to any practice. This is how nuts it was. Now, a lot of MR guys were going to medium tyres because it was the only way to survive. Mediums, slightly slower initially. Obviously, the last lap then is slightly quicker. So it's evens. And I wanted to keep position. I wanted to keep track position. I did decide to let SVDR go there because of what happened previously, in a way he hit me on the hairpin. And the stream said to do that. But Stefanzi got a little bit cheeky there and tried to follow him through. So here we're going to have a battle with Stefanzi on the left-hander, and then into the right we go. So Stefanzi's going to try to cut back here. I'm on the curve there, and look how how much he cuts it basically. And I was like, wow, he cut that a lot. And I said that on stream as well. We head down towards this right-hander, and we're going to see the consequence of cutting that corner that much. As Stefanzi goes through, we can see he got a 0.5 penalty. So obviously that's significant in this race, especially when you've got Williams Adam behind us. You've got Sky Pittman in there and Steve Gaiman into the left-hander we go. A bit of understeer there. And again, we're just trying to survive now. Maintain the tyres. Don't want to slide in. Balancing the throttle. Just trying to make sure the rear does not slide. I don't want to overturn the car and therefore, cause some snap oversteer. Just stay behind Stefanzi. Let's see what happens. So we head down towards its hairpin once again. Lap number 5. I've got to go an extra lap, remember, on these tyres now as well. Into the braking zone we go. You can see how much later these guys can brake compared to me. Behind you've got Adam and Sky Pittman fighting each other. Adam keeps that position for now. Going up the hill, we initially start to look over to the right side. I let off here because I realised that I'm going to get a bit of understeer. Adam sees this, so I have to go defensive here. Now, I always know that the cutback is the primary overtaking move there, and Adam gets it done. I tried to get the car turned in, but without forcing the rear to come out and slide, I couldn't defend that position. So Adam, with a very clinical, clean move there, gets that position into P5, and now we've got Sky Pittman behind us. This is why the video is called what it is, because I'm literally trying to survive here. So am I going to survive this? Look at the queue of cars behind us. Even the Porsche was struggling here, and Aug was on for a shot with Porsche. It doesn't do it, And that's because of the physics change. As I say, a bit silly to do it right at the end of the season on the clinical round as well, in terms of the manufacturers and who goes to New York. Who doesn't want to go to New York? Even so, we continue into the right-hander. My equipment's bottom left, if you wonder what I use at the moment. And then Stefan's going to get the penalty here, so Adam's going to use a bit of slipstream. I try and just stay with Adam here. Stefan's is going to have the inside here, and I try to go for the out-braking move. I'm then going to try and do the cutback, which was always my plan. Are we going to get the move done? Again, we can't go straight on the throttle. We can't be that aggressive. But Stefan's is going to have the inside for the S here, so I'm going to have to be very careful at this point. I didn't want to go too deep because that forces understeer, could cause snap oversteer. So we're falling behind. Try and maintain a decent line, and through there we go. So we're going to be all over the back of Stefanzi at this point, with the slipstream as well. Let's say mid-range, the Audi is good, but when we get towards the top end, it starts to struggle a little bit. So Stefanzi initially went right, then back left. We're going to start to look, and then look how late Stefanzi could brake here. Look how late he could brake, and survives, and I'm there struggling. Sky Pittman then goes for a move down the inside there on the hairpin as well, because he realises that's my weak spot basically, but has to fall in behind again. And this corner is really single file. We advance a bit further on now, behind Stefanzi once again, and in the slipstream. So you see the queue of cars behind me there, lots of cars there. So you know, one mistake and I'm out of this, and you've seen how twitchy the car is. Again, coming to this braking zone, I'm trying to brake, not change down to second gear. I'm trying to survive, wait till the last moment. Look, into the change gear there. I got a slight tap from Sky Pickman as he went down the inside, down the rear, which didn't really help the oversteeringness of the car. But even so, it was only a slight tap. It's one of those that you can't really avoid. Sky Pittman gets the move done there into P6. We're now down to P7. What can we do at this point? Into the right-hander we go. And then the final one again. Can we survive P7? Honestly, we're just after a clean result here. I forgot to mention this. I did do a race after this here again at this round, but it was atrocious. So I don't normally show you the races that I don't normally count, but this is a good race in my opinion. So you get to see it. To continue on, you can see Sky Pittman right in front of us here. And we've got a bit of a gap now to Steve Gaming, which I'm thankful for. So into the braking zone we go once again. Anything can happen in a race, remember. So always think positive where you can. You might be trying to survive, but so are the other guys in some cars. And you never know what can happen. Through the left-hander we go. And then the right. Is Sky Pittman going to start attacking Stefanzi? Are we then going to have an opportunity? Sky Pittman runs a little bit wide there. Through there we go. Head down towards this section again for the penultimate time. And Steve Game has actually broken away from TRL Aug at this point. So TRL Aug really struggling in that Porsche. I can tell you that right now. Through here we go. Again, we're just trying to survive. Third gear through there. That would normally be a second gear corner. Into the left hand. It looks like someone got a penalty there. Didn't see who that was. Into the left. Then the right, so just trying to, you notice it's a short shift there, that's to keep the car stable. Through here we go, Sky Pittman runs wide, goes for the spin. We hit Sky Pittman, we're trying to avoid him. Fortunately, and I was bloody scared of this, we didn't get a penalty. And save of the day. What a save by me on Sky Pittman. He hit my front end, and he came back round there. If he'd have gone into the barrier, I'd have got a 5-second penalty for that. Fortunately, he didn't. Obviously, it wasn't my fault. He just ran wide there, trying to keep up with Stefanzi. Just a lot of understeer there. We advance a bit further on now. This is lap number 9. So Steve Gaming and Sky Pittman have been at each other. We've actually got a bit of a gap here. I'm going to take you through this final section now with a tyre wear even less than it was on lap number 4. And look at the rear end now. You can see me fighting that wheel. And this is why I'm glad they've lowered the tyre wear, because that isn't racing. Having to survive lap 4 and 9, just you're not really driving. As we come through here, head towards this braking zone, just watch the car here. I can't do much about it. I'm trail braking. I'm trying to look at this. The car is just rotating. I'm braking and accelerating. Look, I'm balancing the throttle. I'm not accelerating there at all. The car's weight is very stable there. The car is just rotating. Going into this last corner again. I'm just trying to survive. 4th gear now, just to survive. 4th gear, no revs. Drop to 3rd because we're going that slow. And we head towards the line. And actually one of my best races, in my opinion, in terms of survivability. The fact we came P6 in a race like that was unbelievable. That is my fastest total race time I had ever done in terms of practice races and stuff as well. And coming home in P6, as I say, in the R8 at this track was actually an unbelievable result. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video as always. This video plays there if you want to watch another one. My logo is there if you want to subscribe. But that's it for me for now. Thanks very much for watching. I will see you in the next video.